Hi everyone, I'm Mel and welcome to Lifeline Conversations. Today we're here with Nathan. Thanks very much, Nathan, for sitting down and having a conversation with me today.
No problem.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you to become a Lifeline Crisis Support volunteer?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Nathan. I was studying psychology last year, and I was curious to know what it was like to deal with people that are struggling in crisis. And I was pointed towards Lifeline. And so I'm currently now in stage 3 of a training. I'm in an internship phase. And it's been a really great experience.
Excellent. So Nathan, were you aware in advance of time of the commitment that you needed for the training?
Yeah, so we were made aware that it would take at minimum 4 hours a week. Admittedly, I thought I could breeze through the training, and so I personally did run into trouble when I realised, no, I actually need to spend at least that 4 hours. And some weeks I found that I actually needed to spend more than 4 hours a week, because the training is so in-depth and it is designed to prepare us to be on the phones, and you really do need to take the time to absorb the information that is given. So yeah, but overall, we're definitely pre-warned that it would be intense and it would take some time.
So Nathan, how easily did you find committing to that minimum of 4 hours per week?
Once I realised that I needed to give the 4 hours per week at least a week, then it was easy, because I realised how important it was to be spending that time on the learning material. So yeah, it definitely did take for 4 hours, even sometimes more, but I was able to commit to it quite easily.
So having completed those 10 topics online, what do you think about the content and its value to you in what you're doing now?
Yeah, well, I was pretty surprised by the training. It was very in-depth. It was I was really amazed at the quality of teaching and the content in it. And like, I previously had done a unit at uni in counselling, and I felt like the course at Lifeline was far more practical and far more helpful in bettering my communication with others. And
that's a really big statement, isn't it?
It was awesome training. But not only did we have the theory, we also had a practical side to the training, which really helped. We would practice what we'd been learning, and then what really cemented the training for me was that we could then go and watch a crisis supporter on the phones using the theory that we were learning, and applying it to real world situations. And that really drove home the importance of what we're learning, but also the usefulness.
So Nathan, when you completed your online training and then you moved into observation and student placements, what was your experience transitioning from theory to practice?
My experience was that it was quite seamless, the transition, and I feel like it was extremely important that we had that transition to the observation shifts and supervision, because as good as the theory and the training was, that by itself I feel wouldn't be enough to prepare me for being on the phones. There was a lot of anticipation that I wouldn't be able to take a phone call. I was quite scared to get on the phones, but seeing somebody else do it and use the training that we had, that really brought a lot of comfort to me to see it played out in real life. But it also helped me make sense of the training that we were learning. And it was such a good transition, and I feel like it was so critical to the overall training.
Yeah, right. So the observation shifts and the student placements were a real support for you, backing up that online training.
Definitely, yeah.
So Nathan, you mentioned before that you were thinking it was going to be very challenging for you going on the phone until you went through the observation and the student placements. And often we do have people that are thinking about becoming a crisis support volunteer and they don't because they're worried about, like you were, their capacity to take those challenging calls. What would you say to them?
I had the same worry that I didn't have a capacity, and to tell the truth, I think without the training, I wouldn't have a capacity to take the phone calls. Well, at least some of the phone calls we receive, they can be quite difficult. But the training, it's quite straightforward. In fact, we have the training and resources there in front of us when we're on the phones, and it's provided in a very simplistic way so that if you are stuck, you always have that safety net there. And honestly, there has been a few calls that have been quite difficult to take, but I always fall back on that training and also the resources that are provided to us, and that gives me such a sense of comfort that I know that there's a way forward and there's a way that I can support the person that is calling, and it's always been there to help me through those calls. If somebody is worried about that, that's a valid worry, but the training is adequate to prepare you to take on any call that comes your way.
Sounds like it's really supportive.
It definitely is, yeah.
So, you keep coming back.
Yeah, I do. Look, as much as the Lifeline is about giving back to the community, it's about serving people that are in crisis and in need, and people that are just looking to have a chat. Lifeline, to me, is also a lot about what I get out of Lifeline. And honestly, I get so much out of coming to Lifeline. And the reason being is that it's forcing me to grow as a person. It's forcing me to become more self-aware. It's forcing me to become aware of biases that I have towards people. And on top of that, it's increasing my ability to have better relationships and better communication skills with people around me. So not only am I growing here at Lifeline to be able to take calls more efficiently and effectively, it's affecting my outside of Lifeline work. So that's why I keep coming back.
Is that surprising to you?
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was surprising about how much I was getting out of Lifeline.
And that you've grown.
Yeah, it's forced me to grow.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
So is there any final advice that you might give someone that's thinking about doing the crisis support volunteer training?
Yeah, if anyone's thinking of doing it, my advice is do it. Definitely. But do take in mind that the training itself, it will take some time. It will take some commitment. It will also take you giving yourself a lot of self-compassion, and allow yourself to fail and to learn and to take your time in that learning process. But I feel like if you commit, you give the time, and you give yourself a lot of self-compassion, you should definitely do it, for the sake that, one, when you finish this training, you'll be able to provide support to people that are in their darkest moments. You'll be able to be part of a greater cause. It's not just yourself. And in addition, the training and work and volunteering at Lifeline, it will force you to grow as a person. And if you're looking for growth, if you're looking to develop yourself and to create new experiences in your life and be part of a very supportive team, then you should definitely consider volunteering at Lifeline. yeah, that's my final advice.
Excellent. Thanks so much for sitting down with us today, Nathan. We really appreciate it, and I'm sure that anybody that is interested in becoming a crisis supporter is really going to take on board the things that you've talked us through today. So thanks for your time.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you.